Hi, I'm Andrew Teague from the National Association of Alienated Parents. I'm here talking to Renee Gilbert from Telford. She works alongside children in schools. We're going to discuss parental alienation, how it affects children in schools, and her thoughts on it. Over to you.
Hi everybody. On a personal point of view, or a professional point of view, I've been a nursery nurse and I've taught from early years all the way up to an age 6-year-olds, and I work closely with families in the community and family learning. But on a personal level, I am supporting my partner that's going through court cases and having the bond and the relationship severed with his 2 children. So I can see it from a professional point of view, but I can also see it from a personal point of view. And what impact it has on parents, but also sadly what it's like for children, that I can see as a kind of an outsider looking in, because obviously I've never been through this myself. On a professional point of view, I think everybody in the industry working with children has the responsibility to recognise that it is potentially emotional harm of the children. I've seen 2 children who had a great relationship with their dad, and they've gone through having access and contact on a regular basis to having no contact whatsoever, and seeing how they wish to speak positively about their dad and now have such a negative point of view from their dad. And we've worked, I suppose I've been with John now nearly 6 years, and he's ever since 6 months into the relationship, that's what he was going through. So I've never really seen him come through the other side yet, and hopefully he will. The impact of sin on children, we talk about the attachment. I went to a seminar today with Andrew, and it talked about the attachment theory with parents and how that's formed from a very early on basis, and they become a primary carer. Well, everybody who works with children will understand that. And if you're thinking about severing that attachment, it's the long-term impact as they go into adulthood and the impact they have when they're having children. It's quite sad today, even though we knew how children react and what they're going through in silence. It's hearing it from other parents' point of views and other professionals' point of view of stories that they were saying. It's not just local to me and personal to me. It's such a massive issue and problem. As a practitioner working with children and families, it's our responsibility to support the children and the family as a whole through transitions. So, we have training, and I train the teacher assistants I work with and early years practitioners I work with, that we have responsibility to support them through transitions of bereavement, of losing a pet, of going from small school to a bigger school, from nursery to a big school. But we don't seem to have the support or the understanding of how to support a family through a transition of being a unit to actually being separated. And I think today has helped me think about what schools can do. I don't work as a teacher in a school, but I work with families and children within a school with family learning. It'd be great if we could do something with parents and also teachers to see from their point of view what they're responsible, what they think their responsibility is. Because Stuart was saying today, schools, he categorised them in 4 different categories, and it made sense to me, and I could identify where schools could possibly be, and they could identify themselves, but then also get the support of what they could do to be that, what Stuart was saying, what he would call category 4, which is very child-centred. We all go into teaching and early years and things because it's around the children, and it's not just about their education, it's about them holistically. Well, part of their holistic development is also the relationships they have with other people in their family. We support children where they're grieving a lost parent that have died, but we don't seem to be supporting them effectively when they're grieving a parent that's still up the road with making them feeling guilty. Your other colleague was saying, Pete was saying, this is what the children are saying, but this is actually what they mean. It's it does make sense, and these children are suffering in silence, so they are saying the opposite to how they're feeling because they're so frightened.
There's a lot of things that's counterintuitive with what the child actually feels and what they portray across. And of course, one of the things we do know is they also don't like to stand out in front of their peers as well. So they can act quite normal a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, children, what we said today, is taking them out for some kind of intervention. We take children out of the classrooms as a TA to give intervention for literacy and numeracy support. They do go out for counselling, if we could, like your daughter went and had support through the programme that was your school, Derbyshire programme, but it's so hit and miss, there's no uniformed approach. Every school is, taking it upon themselves, and then schools have got so much to sort out, even when I go in a classroom, I've got to make sure I'm ticking the box of British values, I'm linking it in with literacy, I'm linking it in with numeracy, I'm doing some safeguarding, I'm incorporating embedding ICT, and that's even before I've got the core subject area, so primary school teachers are wearing so many different hats. It has to be kind of simplified, and I like the idea of having that kind of ground rules from day one, when you have that divorce and separation policy where all children and all parents know what's expected of them from day one, that schools will be
like a contract kind of thing.
Like a contract. Well, they do at schools. They have behavioural contract, code of conduct contracts and things like that. But then the children know then that it's a neutral ground, and then like Stuart was saying, that schools took that responsibility on of writing that policy and adhering to that policy, because schools, we do rely on policy and procedures, because that's what backs us up.
I think inevitably then that would be more the safeguarding and well-being for the children then, wouldn't it?
Well, it should be, maybe your safeguarding policy should have that under that umbrella. I don't know where it should sit, but if they have a clear point of view, clear stance, and they keep it, not just a policy that sits in a back pocket, but something they can bring out and say, well, actually, this is for the benefit of your child, and then say to the children, this is what we expect, this is what you can expect of us. So it just needs to have prevention better than cure. And I think in our case, I do say our case, because I'm part of John's family, is that it's too long down the lane it's been a lengthy process. The severance has already happened, the bond has been broken, unfortunately. So it's what do we do for children who are now starting that, what do we do to prevent it from happening to other children? And that's where John and I are coming from, and that's why I went into being a practitioner teacher for the children. I didn't do it for myself. I enjoy being around children. I don't just see it as being an education, I see it as being looking after their holistic development. And then such a big part of that is a barrier to learning. It's like the Maslow's pyramid. If a child doesn't feel safe, secure, hasn't got any issues, then they will never ever go to their potential learning. Their development. So they won't take on learning, and that's as a child, but also as an adult. I just think it's important that we look at what those issues are, and as much as a school.
Do you think that with schools, with some of the children's behaviours, that if some of these things are addressed with the children early on, then we're less likely to see the behaviours with these children? Possibly some children wouldn't be expelled at years. Well, of course, we can't tie everything in with this, but we do know that there are certainly some children who are going to have behaviours. And one of the beliefs I have is that there are some children that are misdiagnosed with like ADHD or autism, when it could be the behavioural patterns of being the victim of parental alienation or the severance of that relationship.
Yeah, well, it's a lot like Stuart was saying, and Pete was saying. I mean, there are two sides of it. You can have a child that's quite withdrawn, who just wants not to be standing out, that can be seen to be doing really, really well at school, but really they are quite withdrawn. And then you get to the other end where they are shouting out for help, they are very confused, they don't understand why they're feeling the way that they are, they're very anxious, they're very, I don't want to say the word needy, but they are insecure. And if things change, because they've gone through because they've gone through, if you can imagine, their life is not plain sailing, because what child's or adult's life is plain sailing, but it's solid. They've got two parents, they live in the same house, and all of a sudden a great big blip has happened. So their landscape has changed. You can't expect children to go, I'm okay, Jack, I'm absolutely fine. Yeah. So the behaviour changes, it would happen regardless. But on a longer term, if they are being, have alienated parents who are trying to alienate the other one, they've got added extras. Like the gentleman was saying today, they become anxious. Every child that's going through a separation, whether it's a healthy separation, where two parents are talking to the children and reassuring them, they're still going to have anxiety.
Of course.
It's just when things are extreme. And it's recognising it, like the lady was saying today, where you've got a drip feed over a period of time, that's harder to recognise that a child's going through something.
One of the things
But
that's
it's the
common
jigsaw
with this,
puzzle, isn't it? It's looking at the jigsaw. We always say in safeguarding, and I do class this under a safeguarding issue because it impacts on their emotional and cognitive well-being, is that you have to look at the jigsaw puzzle. You can't just make a snapshot. You've got to record over a period of time, and it would, and I don't know what every school do, but that's how I would address it. But it's prevention is better than cure because it becomes too late.
That's one of the things that we've always thought as well. One of the things that we talk about is early intervention. I think personally the earliest intervention you can have is through schools, before MyArms, which is mediation, before court processes, where children can freely identify how they are feeling rather than feeling that denigrated, feeling worthless with what goes on around them.
Well, the first stage is for schools to recognise getting the stance right in the first place, so setting those ground rules out, that there is that divorce and separation policy, so the parents know that where they stand, the children know where they stand. That's the quickest and cheapest, it's a policy.
There isn't anything there for them at the moment in regards with this, whether severance happens and where severance of the relationship and PA happens, there isn't really anything supportive enough there for them. It's like with, shall we just say, if you're lucky and the child in this school has got this particular thing in place, you may be lucky. I may be singing a different tune from the other side of this had our child not had the extra support from the school. Which was, it could well have been a different story.
And that's why I'm saying it's very hit and miss, because, one, it's the understanding of the school's staff, two, it's the funding, and three, it's actually putting the implementation in there, having the experts to advise the schools. Schools aren't experts in every area, especially when it's just we're teachers at the end of the day. We're learning ourselves every day. We're learning more off the children sometimes than they're learning off us.
I agree with that.
And it's, we don't, we're not experts, so it's getting the experts to come in on a local authority point of view to then it decimated down. But that's cost money.
One of the things that Stephen Miller said is pretty much, in layman's terms, what I say is you wouldn't take your car to a dentist to have a dentist repair it. It would have to be the right kind of training that's put in place.
Because you can make the whole matter worse.
Absolutely. You could have someone that can come in not knowing and thinking there's nothing wrong with the child. It's absolutely perfect. And then that child is going away and having the same things. One of the things that we did identify with our child was what's the point? What's the point? Is what, if you're talking to someone, and the schools also, they need to be able to know how to bring this to the agencies involved with these children as well, to not be ignored, because in ignoring the school if something is brought out is ignoring the child.
See, there's two ways of perception. The perception is it is a neutral ground for the child, it's a safe haven. Now that perception of that is shutting families, not families, because schools are very good at partnership with parents, but what they say is that's something that's on the outside. That's where they don't necessarily like to keep taking the children out for whatever reason. But what Stuart was saying today made sense, where it is about the child and having those children's right to have time with the parents, and having that neutral ground does not mean to say that you parents go to school outside of school and this child has a say. There's a difference with Stuart's approach today. We're saying actually having that policy and procedure so that the children feel assured that the arguments aren't coming in, and understanding that just because the child is saying that they don't want to see the parent isn't necessarily what their view is, because their view has been disrupted, it's been manipulated,
yes, of course,
where the safest place for them to still have the right to have a relationship with their children is actually in schools. But how that's exercised and how that's put in practice
it's
is
very
different
difficult
things.
because what I found was the only thing that was a safety net for our child was the school.
Yeah.
There was an acrimonious split between me and my ex. Not necessarily brought on by me, she may say not necessarily brought on by her, but it wasn't the best.
Yeah. Well, no
and
breakups, you wouldn't end up
Of
breaking
course,
up, would you?
yeah.
No.
And so the position was at least our child felt that that was a safety net and there was support there. That's the point. There was support. Not necessarily meaning it was the right support, that if things start to turn out and the child feels positive about things and then it's shut down, then something would have to be done to enable the schools to say, well, hang on, no, wait a minute, we need to investigate this further with the child rather than one parent or the other shut it down, because it's automatically then putting it into one parent's hands again.
There are allegations, obviously it's a responsibility. If a child, you always have to believe the child,
Yes.
you know, because it's very risky, very dangerous not to, and that's what, you know, everybody who works with children has some form of safeguarding training, you know, more so when you're working with children directly, you'd have enhanced training. So you do have to take the allegations seriously. You know, thankfully, you know, percentage of those allegations aren't truthful in the you know, in the eyes of the parent alienation, they're not. But you do have to realise there are children that have gone through abuse and are genuine, and the risk of not taking that seriously. However, the difference is if the schools could work with, or the court procedures weren't as lengthy, so they could still have contact centres,
Yes.
so that there isn't the severance. That's the difference. Well, the schools have to take safeguarding issues responsibly, because I have been part of working with children who have been abused, that the disclosure, it's taken the trust to better say that, you know, and we've taken it seriously. But the difference is to shut down the contact is dangerous. So it's having that balance where they still have contact, supervised, as long as the person that's alienating the other one doesn't then go to the next stage and then start breaking that contact as well. So there's got to be that balance, and I don't know what's the right one. You know, maybe they come in and the school take responsibility for contact, but then that's time resourcing.
And one of the things we wanted to get across as well here is it's not just parental alienation that we're dealing with, it's the actual emotional harm, the severance of the relationship between any child and a parent. Any child and parent, that severance of a relationship is catastrophically damaging for the rest of their life.
Well, like Stuart was saying, it's those different stages of mental health, you know, where they're going through lots of different things, you know, and when the child psychologist did an assessment, said that the children, unfortunately, are suffering from a condition which is cognitive dissonance, which is uncomfortable. I think her words were uncomfortable. Well, for somebody to say, I love you, but I'm going to make you go through that, knowingly and let the report, but do schools always get those reports? And then if a school does get that report, what do they do with it? You know, we're professionals as in teaching, we understand the attachment theory, we understand child development, we understand safeguarding, but it's having that education from the experts and say, well actually, like we did today, these are the typical 4 categories of schools. That would help a school recognise that's where we are. That's the kind of school that we are. So one, you'd have to have a bit of an understanding of what parent alienation looks like from a child's point of view, from a professional's point of view, from a parent's point of view, and then to recognise what kind of school, or where they're at, because we don't want to be the number 4, the child-centred, and that's what we believe, that's what we've all gone into it for. We don't really want to be the number 1 that are actively alienating and aligning with the other parent. We don't want that, because at the end of the day, if we did have an understanding of parent alienation, the impact on the children, we definitely wouldn't want to be a number 1. We'd want to be number 4. But then we need a toolkit. Okay, so you know, and it's not just the head teachers that decide, because schools are going to be very independent on what approach they do. There's no uniformed approach. There's no government policy to say this is how you do it. You know, so they're very independent. So we're relying on lots of different people and their own perception of it. So it's having that toolkit to say, okay then, because we've got to be guided by someone, because we're not experts.
Yeah.
But with mental health, everybody has mental health, and there's something that happens to them, a trauma, a change, it'll always be impacted. And I always say there's 5 senses of self: sense of security, sense of, you know, belonging, and so on. So if a child's sense of self, be it one, sense of belonging, sense of security, you know, sense of security, if your family build-up has just been ripped apart, your sense of security and sense of belonging, that's 2 out of the 5 that has gone. So in your lifespan, you will always, if you lose your job, your sense of security, your sense of belonging is gone. You know, if you come out of a relationship, you know, your sense of security. So a child is no different from an adult. So those 5 senses of self, it's very important, you know, to recognise as a teacher, as a practitioner, as a pastoral manager, whatever. So if a child's any of those 5 senses of self have been impacted, then I'd be thinking, what do we do? What do we do to make them feel that they belong? What do we do to help them feel more secure? No, they haven't got the life skills to be able to put those strategies and their coping strategies in place. I mean, when a child's 3, they're angry, they're jealous, but they haven't got a clue what angry or jealous means. So it's up to us as adults going, well, it's okay to be fearful of that ride. It's okay, it's just an emotion. It's okay to feel jealous, you know, because that's natural. It's okay to feel angry. So, like we were saying about parent alienation, the research and the support for or the recognition of parent alienation in England is nowhere near as advanced as it is in America, Canada. Well, children, as I said about safeguarding, they are now having education on safeguarding themselves from the internet, from, you know, unwanted attention, because that's taken years to come to them. You know, it's taken, but when we've only now, you know, now are unfortunately seeing the impact of the 70s and 80s on children, that are now that are saying it. Now, this is probably the same situation we're going to be in when we are. You've spoken to young people that have come in through the other side of having split families, that have had an alienated parent, and how they feel now at the age of 16, 17, 18 and they're self-harming. Because we haven't got to that point yet of the recognition of it, how can there be a programme or something that children can be empowered and be educated about when we haven't got to the point where the experts are very few? It has to be from an expert or experts. You know, you have to look at different people's and different experts' point of views, and then it has to be tangible, something that schools can go, right, okay, this is what we can do to support and empower children to educate. So, for example, what we did today, where the children are saying a statement, but what they really mean, and then a child that's going through that themselves, like, well, actually, that's exactly me, that is me, and they're recognising, I'm not going off my head, I'm not the only person really. They've got a word for it. At the moment, children don't know anything. Adults are beginning to know, and they've put the word parent alienation, but they don't know what they're going through. They have no idea. All they know is their life has been ripped apart. You know, they know with bereavement they have a word because adults are giving them words to cope with the bereavement. You've lost your nan, you're very close to your nan. This is what you're going through. You know, because we've got a history of knowing what grieving looks like and how to support people that are going through, you know, a bereavement, but there's not enough information coming through to schools to even, because they will shy away from it because they'll be worried about getting it wrong. It's got to be recognised as a form of potential abuse or abuse. You know, it's got to be recognised as something to be able to do something about. That's you know, it's not just my point of view. I'm a mum, I'm a person that's supporting you know, a family that's going through it, but also I'm a teacher, so it's threefold for me. I see it from the other point of view when I have young people, you know, that have come out of the educational system, and it's not even the school's fault. You know, it's something that's been impacted on them outside of school, be it, you know, their self-image of themselves because they've been bullied or they've been abused or they've gone through this. There's something that's made them feel like that. But how do you undo that and make them feel good as a person? Because nobody will ever achieve their learning potential if they've got barriers.
No.
But it's getting to that point where, you know, you're working with some schools, they can then say to other schools, well, this is what we've done, sharing best practice. And that's what, you know, that's what schools always do, sharing best practice.
Sharing best, yeah.
You know, so case study one school and say, well, this is what it looks like Stuart said, everybody wants to be a 4 where it's child-centred. Every school will say we are child-centred because that's what they want, that's what they believe. But because they don't know what parent alienation looks like, they won't be aware that they're not child-centred in that point of view, and they will be really upset.
In every other way they might be, but in that way they may, I could totally agree.
It's working with schools, that you're not alienating them and teaching them to suck eggs, you know, that you're tactfully giving them a toolkit and an understanding that's realistic, and then you can evolve them and build on it. I mean, that's
brilliant. Thank you very much, Renee. Renee Gilbert, thank you.